Hey, this is Mike Norris. Today we are talking about VA loans in front of the USS Kidd, otherwise known as the Pirate of the Pacific. So before we start, let's roll the intro. Hey, this is Mike Norris. We're talking about VA loans. You can find me at MikeKnowsMortgage.com. Now, before we start talking a little bit, behind me is the USS Kidd, and we will talk a little bit more about that after we get through the VA loan section of our video. We won't be long, I promise. So, one thing I let everybody know if they're going to start a home buying process and use their VA benefits is always go to and get pre-approved by a VA loan specialist. This is a mortgage broker or loan officer that specializes in VA loans. The reason being, VA loans are much different than conventional loans, FHA, and some of the other products out there. So if you don't have somebody that specializes in VA loans and does a lot of them each month, there's a high probability that your loan could get delayed in closing or possibly not close at all. And the reason being is there's certain things in those VA loans that somebody that does it all the time is going to know, watch out for, and know how to do it, and just make the home buying experience much smoother than somebody that doesn't. So rule number one in my book is get pre-approved, not just by anybody, but by somebody that specializes in VA loans. Number two about VA loans, the interest rates are much lower than conventional mortgages. And so if somebody's trying to talk you out, push you in a different direction, I recommend getting a second opinion because the interest rates for VA loans are much lower than conventional loans. And this is the reason why. The VA is guaranteeing that loan to the bank. And so as a result, you are a much lower risk than the average person getting a loan under a conventional product. So VA loans are much lower many times than conventional. So be sure and talk to a VA specialist about that. And if you can use your VA benefits, I highly recommend doing it. The other thing is for VA loans, you don't need to put any money down. Now you can put money down to lower the amount that you're borrowing, but you're not required to put money down for the purchase of the loan. So that's the great thing about VA loans also. Now, with that said, there's always closing costs, and that is a little different. So you've got taxes, insurance, title attorney fees, and insurance. There's several other things in there. But don't worry if you're having cash flow issues or you don't have the money to put into that, because even if you do, I recommend when you're negotiating on the price of the house, talk to the seller and see if they will contribute to the closing costs. I've seen it many times where the seller will contribute all the closing costs so that veteran doesn't bring anything to the table. It is awesome. Just did one. It was great. The veteran brought absolutely nothing to the table other than their proof of identification. So I recommend that. Now, what if you're dealing with a seller that doesn't really want to do that, but you love the house and you want the house? Well, now, second option, go to your VA specialist and tell them that you need some assistance with the closing costs. They can actually build that into the program and help you bring money to the table for the cost of the closing. So be sure you talk to your VA specialist about that. There are many different options on being able to cover the closing cost. So another thing is no PMI. That's right, no private mortgage insurance like you see in conventional loans and FHA loans, for example. And so, but however, with that said, there is a funding fee. And that is a fee that the VA charges that's rolled into your loan. Now, a couple of options there. A, you can roll the funding fee into your loan. Option one. Option two, if you're a disabled vet, be sure you tell that to your VA specialist. The reason being is many times disabled vets can have that funding fee absolutely waived. And another option is if you don't want to roll the funding fee into the loan, many times you can buy that funding fee out. Talk to your VA specialist. There's many different options on that funding fee. However, the nice thing is there's no PMI, no private mortgage insurance with VA loans. Now, the other thing everybody always asks me is, what can I use my VA loan for? Well, it needs to be a house that you're living in. Now, there are some exceptions to this, but we'll go over that in a different video. So, but here's the general rule. Primary residence, that's just a house that stands by itself. However, you can also, let's say you want to do it for a condo, you can use it for that. Mobile home, you can use your VA benefits for a mobile home. Now, let's say you do want to have a property that brings in some income. You can use your VA benefits for a duplex, a triplex, or a quadplex as long as you are occupying as your primary residence one of those units. Okay, before we talk about the USS Kidd, just real quick, like I said, my name's Mike. You can find me at Mike Knows Mortgage. My information should be below. If you like this video, do me a huge favor. Like it, share it, there's a little button down there. It'll notify you, little bell. Click that. That would be awesome. I really appreciate it. Behind me is the USS Kidd. It is an awesome vessel. It's on the Mississippi River in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So if you find yourself in Baton Rouge, I recommend heading downtown and go on a tour. It will blow you away. It is awesome. It was commissioned in 1943. It was named after Admiral Kidd. Admiral Kidd was the very first admiral in U.S. history to be killed in action. He died in Pearl Harbor on top of Arizona. And so it's just, the history behind it is amazing. They've got a great setup to go see it. So if you're in Baton Rouge, I highly recommend you come to the USS Kidd. It made it through World War II, Korea, and the Cold War. And it lived up to its name, the Pirate of the Pacific. So anyway, if you have any questions, do me a favor, contact me. My contact information is below. Like, share my channel. That'd be awesome. I do appreciate it. And if you have any questions about VA loans, don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great day. See you at the next video.